Hey, thank you very much. Hey, sir.
Have a great week.
Yeah, I'm Michael Conacher, and I'm recording this because I need help, like a shepherd help, and I'm not getting it here. Do you know? Do you know I could find someone to walk with me in the open? Because stuff's been done to me in private that's very hurtful. So I need to address corruption in the church. Unfortunately, Bishop Zubik's in on it, and the police are in on it too. So it's law enforcement and the church. Do you know how I can address that?
Have you tried with Father Rashofsky?
Well, not him yet, but I've done the deacons here, I've done the other priests here, and Bishop Zubik's instructed the holy orders to just leave me alone, to stand back, and just let it run its course. And it's been 8 years now. So 8 years in the life of a 3-year-old child is a lifetime. So my children are suffering. They're being corrupt by the system allowing falsehoods to exist that my own children know that they're false. And there's cult-like behavior involving the Catholic Church. It needs to be properly addressed. And law enforcement's in on it. And there's links to pedophilia on this stuff. And so it's that same evil that allowed it to exist all these years. I need help addressing it because I've spent over 60 grand on attorneys. I just want this to be done in the open. And the police have trumped up charges on me. They've made me out to be the bad guy. And I need an easy button. Where's that easy button we can press to say, hey, excuse me, let's take this into public view, stop all this secret investigation stuff you're doing for 8 years, and let's just resolve it in the open. So I paid an attorney. I invested $10,000 into a company last December 4. PNC Bank refused to take the check because I said I'm investing in God's kingdom. And so the check ended up getting deposited. There was actually 2 checks totaling 10 grand. And the attorney was paid $5,700 to file in federal court. And now he's telling me he'll do it next week. Well, I have trial scheduled for St. Patrick's Day. And if I get found guilty for one charge on that, then the charges from 2012 that are trumped up, the judge could put me in prison for like 80 plus years. The police have trumped up charges on me. And they've participated in the dangerous person accusation. I'm labeled as a sick-minded, dangerous criminal, not fit to be around my own children. And it's a series of lies. And I experienced something supernatural. I experienced a miracle in my brain. And the Holy Mother Church has turned her back on my children. And through her own bishops. I've brought it. Bishop William John Walter Scheid knows about it. Bishop Zubik knows about it. I brought it to the attention of our Archbishop. You know we have an Archbishop, right?
Yes, but I don't know his name.
We're part of the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. Did you know that?
I did not know.
We are. We're in the Pittsburgh Diocese. It's part of the Archdiocese of Philadelphia, which doesn't have any control over us, but it's still part of that. And that bishop is Archbishop Charles Joseph Chaput. Brought it to his attention. I brought it to the Apostolic Nuncio, which is the Christopher Perret, Archbishop, and he's in Washington D.C. Because Vatican City is a nation. You know that, right?
Yes.
And so the nation of Vatican City has a ambassador. So that Apostolic Nuncio is a official ambassador of the Vatican to our country. And I am concerned that this evil that I'm talking about, that's connected to pedophilia, that it goes all the way up. And Cardinal Ratzinger needs to account for it. He's good friends with my dad, and my dad's deceased now. Do you know who Cardinal Ratzinger is?
I've heard the name.
He's Pope Benedict XVI. He got a new name.
Oh, right, okay.
So he was Secretary of State for many years. I think the whole time under Pope John Paul II, who's a saint now. But Cardinal Ratzinger was Secretary of State, and he was friends with my dad. He knew my dad, and opened a lot of doors in the church for my dad to do stuff. The Catholic Church opened an investigation into my mom's life to consider her for a saint. The shrink downtown said I'm delusional about that. I'm delusional about these other things that I could prove to be real. I am being railroaded. I have a court-appointed attorney who's met with me for less than 2 hours, and I got arrested on Ash Wednesday, March 1, 2017, and locked up for 10 months, then locked up later for 9 months, and then locked up later for almost another month. There's like 20 months of me being locked up and not having proper representation. And I pay attorneys money to file stuff, and I'm stuck in a system that's highly unjust. I simply want to address it in public view with somebody who cares. How do I find someone who cares in this church? in the Catholic Church. How is it that there's not one human being in the Catholic Church that will walk consistently? I mean, I've had people walk a little bit, and then they find that they're attached to certain things of this world that they're not willing to address, and so I've lost what's most dear to me
Mike,
in this world.
I have to tell you that in my way of thinking,
Yeah.
you've done the logical steps that, if I'm grasping the situation correctly, that I would have gone through.
Okay.
So to answer your question, I don't know who I can tell you to go to, because I would be in the same situation. I would try this person, that person, and go up the line.
Right. So what do we do when that doesn't work? Because I'm not the only one this hasn't worked for. What about all the black people for all the years and years that slavery and the post-slavery stuff, where the law was involved in violating their rights? And what did the Catholic Church do to speak out on that? You know, other than a little writing here or there. No, the Catholic Church has some apologizing to do and some atonement, not just simple words. I want to know what that woman was trying to tell the Pope when she almost pulled his arm out of his socket at the beginning of this year. What was it she had to say? You know, why was she ignored?
I don't know.
Our church cannot.
I remember the incident.
Yeah, our church cannot be ignoring we the people. We need help. And what I have, I'm a software engineer. I know how to build easy button technology that's accountable to one trust chosen by the end user. Isn't that cool? You being the end user, you choose who your master trust is. I choose the Pope. He's got the keys. And now with that comes accountability. For some reason, papal authority hasn't stood accountability. It doesn't hold itself accountable for naughty behavior. That needs to stop. So I need help properly addressing this in the open. Would you be willing to walk with me in the open? All you got to do is create an email box, be aware of what I'm doing, pipe in here and there, and witness. Simply witness what's happening, because there's a chance I could get locked up on St. Patrick's Day for 80 years.
Well, I think, again, that you're doing the right steps, and I think you have legal representation, correct?
He's met with me for less than 2 hours.
But nonetheless, you have someone...
I'm being railroaded. So it is very likely I'm going to be found guilty of something. And I'm not guilty of any of that. I got charged with disorderly conduct, misdemeanor 1, and felony 3, terroristic threats. I didn't threaten anybody. I yelled for help inside an attorney's office. And so that attorney's listed as victim. My victims for these two cases are... My victims for these two cases are an attorney, a chief of police, a judge, Judge Richard Opiella. Do you know him? He's a member of this parish. He's a member of this parish, Judge Richard Opiella. And then the fourth one is a priest, Father Dennis Bronowski, my personal confessor. I went to him on April 2nd, 2012 with my 13-year-old son. I said, I need the help of a bishop. There's a witch hunt going on right now, and I need help of it. He goes, the Catholic Church doesn't do that kind of stuff. Because I needed help. Judge Ignolzi was at my house that day. And it goes on and on and on. And all I need help addressing these matters in public view, and it's in celebration of the glory of God. Everything that we read and all the preaching, all the stuff that I hear here is beautiful. What's lacking is the practice. The leadership in the Catholic Church is participating in naughty behavior, and my children are growing up with their dad desecrated in their minds, and they're being perverted on how to live. No, I can't sit for that. I've been drugged up against my will to get me to shut up. I don't want to shut up. And I don't want these drugs either. So we have to address what my government's doing to me, and the Catholic Church is involved in it. It opened a formal inquisition into my mother's life to consider her for sainthood. That happened in 2007. A shrink downtown told Judge Manning that I was delusional about that, and sent me off to Torrance for 90-some days to get drugged up.
One second.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So, let's see. We got overlapping technologies going on here. Let's see here. Oh, excuse me. excuse me, your Archbishop Charles Joseph Chaput. This is Michael Conacher. I need to understand what's the purpose of an archdiocese to the members of it. So it's my understanding that the Diocese of Pittsburgh is a member of the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. And you're the Archbishop of the Archdiocese of Philadelphia, and I understand your name to be Charles Joseph Chaput, Archbishop. I simply want to act responsibly. Is that recording? Oh yeah, it is recording. Okay. So I have an invention that celebrates overlapping technology, and it's really cool. So how can we address it in public view without me being drugged up against my will? And how can we address lies that are being hosted by Catholic leaders, such as Dr. Andrew Rezzo and associates? So, all right, we'll figure this out. May God's will be done. And God's will is inside truth, being held by love. And that is lacking in my Andy Rezzo hosted family situation. He told me in the year 2012, if you keep it up, buddy boy, you're not going to have a family. We don't want you talking about the truth about the incest and homosexuality and sexual perversion, pedophilia that the family you married into. We don't want you talking about that. What? Ooh, wait a minute. What's up here? So, okay. Oop, oop. There's things that I know that are very cool, and it's a matter of perspective. What time is it anyway? Let's see here. Time is 5:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on, well, it's not going to show me. Oh, here we go. There we go. On March 5, 2012. Nope. It's March 22nd, 2020. No, it's not that either. Today is Saturday, March 7, 2020, and the time is 5:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this recording, let's see. This recording, where is it? This recording, wait a minute. Technical difficulties here. Where is it? This recording is 12 minutes, 55 seconds. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb.